Hey guys, and welcome to Car Guy 1999 Reviews. Today, thanks to Infiniti of Nashua, we have our first 2025 Infiniti QX80 Pure. Now, when they launched the QX80, they wanted to push the highest trim levels first. So our first ever QX80 was an autograph and a sensory. Those were our first two. We actually have that exact sensory right there, and an autograph in the showroom as well, which you can kind of see in the background. But the Pures are now starting to arrive at dealerships. This is the beginning of November 2024, and this one arrived a couple days ago. So we'll start with the key. Obviously, same key as all the other ones. The Pure does come standard with remote start. That is huge because the QX60 Pure doesn't. To have this illuminated emblem. It is the new Infiniti logo. If you've ever wondered what the Infiniti logo is, this is supposed to look like an infinite road going off into the distance. So that's what they were going after. Front grille designed to resemble a bamboo forest. These piano key headlights, you kind of get the gist. 20-inch wheels, only on the Pure. Tuscan beige interior, only on the Pure. You might ask yourself, why do they make an interior color just for one trim level? Well, it is because of one feature this vehicle lacks, and that is ventilated seats. That comes standard on your Lux. So it's a completely different style of seat with perforations to allow ventilation. So the Tuscan beige only exists on the non-ventilated seat version, which is on your Pure. Do still have ambient lighting. It's not the 64-way color wave that is in your Lux with ProPilot 2.1, your sensory and your autograph, but it's still a nice warm glow. Klipsch 14 speaker sound system compared to the 24 speaker sound system that is in your sensory and autograph. You do still have your panoramic moonroof. That is huge. You do still have wireless charging in here. Obviously, you don't have the cool box that comes in autograph only. Heated wheel, heated seats. Definitely an added, or a loved, having a stroke. Definitely a welcome feature. You do still have built-in nav, and at this price point, those are things that I would absolutely expect to have come standard. This one has the optional split bench. Looks like outboard heated rear seats, 2 USB-Cs, 12-volt cigarette lighter. Nice little pocket back there. I do love the rear tail lights, especially at night. Infiniti said it is supposed to resemble a city skyline reflecting off pools of water. That is what they said. This is the cargo package. This is freaking awesome. I've never seen a car's cargo package come with a massive tote like that. That is pretty darn cool. Your owner's manual, some of the cargo bits and bobs, your power third row, power lift gate, of course. Does have foot motion. With the vehicle running, it's not really gonna allow me to do it, but you can kind of see the city skyline-esque lines there. Let's take a look at the window sticker. 2 main packages on this split bench and cargo pack. Split bench is no cost, which is great. Radiant white over Tuscan beige for a as tested price, base MSRP, no options, $85,550, which when you look at the $112 for an autograph, if you think that's a little bit too spendy, you're gonna have a lot of the main features in the autograph at this Pure. In this Pure at the $85,000 price point, which is about a little less than 10 grand difference, or a little less than 10 grand less than your fully loaded previous gen sensory, at about the same cost as your premium select, maybe a little bit more. Actually, no, it's about the same cost as your premium select, a little bit more than a Lux. Cool. Obviously, big change that we've gone over with other QX80s, 3.5 liter twin turbo V6. It's kind of a combination of the motor, the 3 liter twin turbo from the Q50 and the GTR motor, kind of combined the two, and technology from the GTR made its way here. They started with the base of the 3 liter, bored it out, beefed it up. Now it is in this application producing 450 horsepower, 516 pound-feet of torque. That is gains of 50 horsepower and 103 pound-feet of torque over the previous 5.6 liter naturally aspirated V8 that has been used largely since about 2004, 2005 in various applications, starting from the Titan all the way through. So that was an absolute powerhouse, but it was time for a change. That is all routed through the new 9-speed torque converter automatic, which is a great transmission. Hop inside and you realize, just even in the Pure, how comfortable these seats are, how quiet the interior is. LED lighting everywhere, sliding visors. Straight pipes would be happy on that. Stay. Take a look at this. One of my favorite features is what is built in to this navigation system, or the, I should say, the infotainment system. Hey Google, navigate to Red Arrow Diner.
Red Arrow Diner. All right.
Boom, loads right up. It doesn't just do that. Hey Google, turn on driver's seat heater.
Got it. Turning on the seat heater for the driver.
Pretty cool. Hey Google, set temperature to 62 degrees.
All right, changing the heat to the coldest.
Oh, 64. There we go. Not bad at all. I don't know if it will do this. I haven't tried it. Hey Google, change drive mode to sport.
Sorry, I didn't understand.
No, you can't do that. I don't know any car that you can. But pretty darn cool. Internet Sirius XM, so you have a lot of channels that are typically app exclusive are actually here. So let's take a look here. Go into channel, you can go into direct tune. For example, I know I might be a little crazy, this is year round. Oh, okay, they changed it because of that. So this is an app exclusive channel that typically you wouldn't find on any radio except for your SiriusXM app, and it is on this radio. Pretty darn cool. I do like that. Obviously, rewinding SiriusXM, you can play certain artist stations, so all your features that you have in your SiriusXM app are now in this SiriusXM, which I love. Speaking of apps, you can actually download apps to this device or this infotainment system via the Google Play Store. Absolutely brilliant. I love that. Your interior light, you can adjust the brightness and all of that right in here. So tons of cool features all built in there. Without further ado, check out all your cameras. Go into drive. Let's see, does this have the industry first ultra wide view forward camera? And you can even mark location, so if you have a tricky intersection, you can mark the location right there, and every time you come up to that intersection or whatever maps location it is, it will pop up the forward facing camera, allowing you to see exactly what you need to see. Another big change with the Pure that I'm actually shocked I haven't gone over yet is no adjustable air suspension. So some people are a little scared of air suspension. I mean, obviously we have a warranty to cover that, but some people are still scared of it. I understand, especially dealing with Jeep air suspension previously, it's a pain in the butt. This does not have air suspension, so that might be a value add for a lot of buyers. In all honesty, it still rides very well. And being on 20s instead of 22s, you have much more sidewall. It actually is a little bit of a smoother ride. That VR35 is absolutely awesome. Now, some of you are going to say, oh, 3.5 liter twin turbo, it's a VQ. It is not a VQ. Look at the abbreviation. What is after Q in the alphabet? That's R. That's because the 3.0 liter was the VR30, and it was supposed to be an evolution of the VQ engine. So, being a VR35, it is an evolution of the VQ. So it still has that VQ DNA. It is not a VQ 3.5. It's a very futuristic sound. It definitely is pumped in. It's not all completely real, but it's not over the top. And especially once you have that clipped sound system playing some killer tunes, you're not really even gonna hear the engine all that much. Because it's optional on your Lux, the Pure is not going to have ProPilot Assist 2.1. It does still have ProPilot Assist 1, which is hands-on driver's assist. ProPilot Assist 2.1 is hands-free. That's the main difference between the two. I've gotten a lot of comments on my QX80 Lux and Sensory videos saying, thank you for taking a look at these. A lot of people do all top trim levels. At the end of the day, yes, almost, you know, when they did the media launch for this car, they were all dynamic metal over burgundy autographs. That's what everybody reviewed. That's what everybody drove. So you're gonna have people be like, but what's the Pure like? You know, because I'll be honest, not a lot of people, not everybody can swing that $112,000 price tag. And I still think it's a bargain for what you get once you really spend some time with it, which I have. $85,000 is where the previous gen QX80 lived for a vast majority of its life. So, you know, convincing some of these current customers to jump $20,000 has been a little tough for dealers. So having these Pures is be like, listen, you get a lot of the new tech. You have the Google built in. You have everything. I would say 75 to 80% of these new added features, and it's still going to be a huge jump, even over, you know, starting to touch on sensory. A Pure even, in some ways, is a jump from that, or a step up, I should say. And you know, it's pretty impressive, you know, how nice even the Pure is. And going into this, you know, I drove this thing for the first time 10 minutes ago. I was like, is it gonna be obvious that there's cost cutting? And you know what, you spend a lot of time in the autograph, yeah, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, so this is not as nice, doesn't have this, doesn't have that. And listen, I've spent a lot of time in autographs. I still think, you know, this almost might be the biggest bargain out of them all. For 85 grand, how much you're still getting, it's pretty darn impressive. I have to say, this is probably the most comfortable QX80 I've driven. I don't know why. I don't know if the seating position is just right, but this is the most comfortable I've been in one. And again, those big sidewalls are really making a difference over some of these bumps and undulations. You know, being on big 22-inch wheels for 3 out of the 4 trim levels, you know, you're not going to have as much sidewall, which inherently gives it a firmer ride. It's not to say the ride is stiff on the QX80, it's the air suspension makes up for that. But you can just kind of feel how this is a little bit softer and you just have more give. I want to see now we're in manual mode. That's the part where this gets pretty impressive. You know, this has a way of rotating around corners, clawing its way out of corners, and it feels very, very planted for the size of the vehicle. Matter of fact, the launch of the vehicle, the QX80, was on Circuit of the Americas, which is an F1 circuit. The only F1 circuit in the USA, I do believe. I believe Austin, Texas is where it's at. So it's so funny talking to some of the higher ups in Infiniti and our dealer reps and all that. I'm like, they sent you guys out to Circuit of the Americas to launch a QX80, which has never really been a sporty car. Nobody's looked at it and said it's sporty. And ironically, after talking to them and, you know, talking to some of the people that went, they were pretty impressed. They had the Navigator there, they had the Escalade there, and they said this has definitely felt more composed. The brakes held up phenomenally. I mean, they were tracking for, I think they said about 5 days, and the brakes held up perfectly fine. Didn't go through a set of tires. I think, no, I think they said one car went through a set of tires because they were being a little stupid. But after 5 days of, I think they said it was a total of 12 hours of track time every single day. One of the cars had 1,000 miles of pure track, which is in a span of 5 days. That is a lot of abuse on the car. And they just sat there and took it. It is genuinely impressive. And we were all joking because, you know, some of the people that went are racing drivers. And so we were talking cars and chassis and all that. And they said, this platform's pretty well balanced. And I hadn't had a chance to really spend some time in it. After spending some time, I definitely agree with them. This chassis is just, the whole platform just feels a little bit more playful than you would expect. And it actually, when you drive in a sporty manner, it does a really good job of playing along with you. And then I like that. I like that a lot. So the QX80 Pure, being the entry or the base model, I still think this is a phenomenal car. In fact, I think I'm even more impressed with the Pure just because of what it provides at the price point. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.